The next challenge is called Azure 101, and it's very similar to the Linux 101. I also tested ChatGPT on this one, and it worked much better compared to the Linux one. It is fairly short. We only need to figure out a few AZ-CLI tool commands, but this challenge will lead into other more difficult challenges. This one is still fairly easy and straightforward, and I'm just going to show you the prompts that I had. I'm going to copy paste as I did it in the Linux 101. After that video, I think you get the general idea. You need to provide enough context to the large language model tool to figure out what you want, and the Linux one was a bit wonky and harder because of the weird phrasing of the tasks. This one is pretty straightforward, so let's check it out. And we ended up with one more challenge on Christmas Island. This is at Rudolph's Rest, just like the Reportinator one was. Again, 2 out of 5 Christmas trees, pretty easy. So we need to go to the other side of the resort here, and we have a Sparkle with a terminal here. Just gonna click through the dialog here, and we get one hint that is a reference to the AZ tool. This is pretty useful if you're planning not to use things like ChatGPT. And I am going to just open this in a new window, just showing you that this is what the hint is all about, and you can manually figure out the right command, or you can just use an LM tool like ChatGPT and ask that tool. So you can see here the prompts. We need to adjust this a little bit. I wonder if I managed to clear the, yeah, I cleared the notes, very good. So I'm going to take some notes here from the output because, for example, in case of Azure, the resources exist in resource groups. So we need to save the names of the resources and resource groups as we work on this objective. This is just like all the other ones, has the terminal window open up for us in the game, and the first task is just to check the help output. So that's another hint basically where you can look for answers for the challenge. And what I did, I started off by telling ChatGPT that I need some help with Azure command line skills. And here I'm not just blindly copy pasting here the tasks, but I'm just picking the part that kind of makes sense. So I throw in this part and it gave me, hey, just issue this AZ account show command and pipe it into less, which is exactly what is being requested from us. And this will give us some details about the account. Now, I would also save this one later. I did take detailed notes while I was working on the challenges, so I'm not going to do it here for the video, but you should when you work on this challenge. Then I think I just copied this one, which is okay. It's kind of a bummer. I understand. I really should have told ChatGPT that it did an excellent job. Probably will survive without that because it's again just a statistical model here. So the next question was getting the resource groups. I'm gonna close this one. Okay, so yeah, that was AZ account show. So just get me the resource groups. Basically, that's what I told. Oops. The ChatGPT. I just want to copy this one. Okay, it was copied. Paste. Right, this one we're going to need later, so I'm going to save this one. Because when we going to issue commands that require to name the resource group, Then we're going to need these 2 lines here already. So the next one, I just copied in. Okay, now use the resource groups to get a list of function apps, and it gave me the command. So the previous command was, just for reference, AZ group list, and it very helpfully gives me output table. So it's supposed to be a bit more readable. Oops, yeah, and again, I just said that we're going to need these, so I cannot just blindly copy paste in. I need to substitute here the resource group names. Just duplicate this line here and check the first resource group. We got 2 in the output, so paste. Again, here's the first one. Now this will be important, so I would take a note of this one, but I already have that, so just imagine that I did that, because we're going to use that for the, I think it's the SH shenanigans one, or certificate shenanigans, sorry. Paste it in for the second resource group, which returns an empty set, so that's fine. Next, find a way to list the only VM in the resource groups that you have access to. So find a list of the resource groups that we have access to, and I'm gonna copy this command, and we need the names of the resource groups. So let's give it a try for the first one. Paste it in, clear. So this one, AZVM list, we need to name the resource group. So this will check all the VMs in that specific resource group. And then there's a query here to get the name, location, and VM size. I'm not really sure why ChatGPT decided to do this kind of filtering, but sure, let's go with that one. And we can see that we do not have the rights to perform this action for the first one. So it's probably because the VM is in the second one. So let's execute the command again for the, did I forget to change it? Yeah, of course I did. So again, here you're supposed to understand a little bit the context. Or if you paste in the output, you can probably just ask ChatGPT to, or any other LLM tool, to generate the command for all the resource groups that you need to execute. But I'm trying to like do it in a semi-automated way here. Okay, so we have one VM here. We are asked to do a run shell script on this. So to do this command execution on the VM, I'm going to copy the details. And then again, I took this info and told ChatGPT that I need to issue a run command, and it gave me 2 different options here, directing the output to a JSON file. It's going to be fairly small, so it should be good, and it's a command line command, so we should see the output, and we need to find a file, so we just need to list that file. The resource group was resource group 2, and the VM name is over here, Norpol VM1, I guess, what it stands for, and then we do an ls here, paste it in, and there's some delay here, and we got the output here and completed the objective. Let me just format this output the same way as I did it in the orientation video for the layout of the given location. I'm just going to remove the new line characters and convert it into new line, and you can see a directory listing here. Probably we're looking for the Jingle Bells file, just a guess. All right, so pretty easy challenge, I would say. Let's close this. Let's talk to Sprinkle. Wow, you did it. That function app will be important later, so it gives us a path to move forward. We get a hint, and that's it. So the hint that we got is the URL for the app, which is in the conversation, I believe, or yeah, we got the certificate shenanigans as an objective, and we have here this application, which is for the next, or well, not the next challenge, because this is a fairly difficult one and it's more towards the end, but it's for a different challenge. And the other hint that we got was to use the REST API when the AZ CLI tools are not available. This is something that commonly seen during penetration tests, and unfortunately also real life attackers do like to abuse the CLI tool, as well as the API calls for the metadata service. We'll see those ones later in the other challenge. We do have our achievement, as well as the next little fraction from the story, from the narrative. All right, now the next objective here that we have is certificate shenanigans, but that's not the one that we're going to solve next. We are going to go to a different island to pick a lock, I believe. But for this one, that's all. So this was Azure 101. And we still have ahead of us a ton of easy to solve challenges. So at this point, we were able to use somewhat the large language models. It was not really necessary for these easy 101 CLI terminals, but I wanted to give it a try. Later, it will be really crucial to leverage some of the AI tools that are mentioned in the very first hint that we got from Santa. And I had a couple cases where I decided to at least, instead of doing a Google search, use ChatGPT. But it's more towards the end where we're going to rely more on these CLI tools. I was just worried that I might never use them, and I wanted to try out what was the instruction to solve some of the challenges with these CLI tools. Anyway, for the next one, we're definitely not going to need it because we're going to pick some combination locks. So come with me and check it out in the next video.